Hello and welcome to episode 1 review of our Park Close podcast that we do. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed episode 1. We are here for our second time. We've actually recorded this once before. You'll notice that Luke is missing. He was here when we originally recorded this, but thanks to Lewis's phone overheating when we were recording it, you'd have had everyone except for Lewis just disappearing halfway through, so we thought we'd best do it again. But
it wasn't even halfway through, it was 2 minutes in.
Was it 2 minutes in? I didn't know.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes in, I know.
So Luke was here and now he's on holiday, so he's not free to do this.
I'll try and remember some of the things that he said so I can fill in my teammates' contribution.
Yeah. So we're just going to review the show, go through. Basically, this is our kind of excuses podcast where we can say
reasoning.
We thought it was a good idea for this reason and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So we start, and the biggest thing we had a problem with the start of this series was we knew it was going to be opening day, and opening days at Alton Towers can be ropey, to say the least. Yeah, challenging. Good word, challenging. And it's always going to be busy, but we don't mind the busyness. The busyness, the part of being busy is fine because that just plays into your strategy of what you want to do, what you don't want to do. That's fine. But we knew it'd be a little bit testing on the first thing that we didn't want to happen is we go, right, let's start the game, and we both roll and we both go into queue lines, which we ended up doing. The first time we rolled, we both took the first one we landed on, and then we aren't doing anything for 1 to 2 hours. So we knew we'd need a mechanism at the start, a big reward for a task, and both doing a joint task would be a good idea to kind of, for anyone who's new to the series, because remember, we've kind of still got to pitch this to people who've never seen us before. They don't know what we're doing, this is a bit weird. But if we have a big task, it means that people can say, oh right, okay, so it's not a vlog, it's actually, they're doing something a bit weird, what are they doing? So that's why we decided to do a task first. But obviously before that, actually, I've kind of jumped ahead a little bit. We do all the explaining. So on YouTube, we've got people's attention for maybe 15-20 seconds when they click onto a video. So it's our job to give you some more information but not swamp you with it. If we said every single rule at the start of the video,
that'd be an episode in itself.
Yeah, literally we literally did a pre-season podcast to go through the rules in detail because there's that many of them, for the ones who are really keen on learning everything. Yeah, so we give all the explain, and then we do a task, which isn't the same thing, but it's one of them where we want to kind of prove it's not a vlog, it's something very different, and also very silly that we've got these over-the-top 3D graphics, which I'm not going to commit to 3D in every series if we do any more of it, because it did take longer. It looks nice, I'm quite happy with it.
It looks very good.
All the little animations, little Nemesis monster eye, all that sort of stuff, it all just took. But I'm obviously very pleased with it. I think it does sell it. And it's a bit of a wow to start the video, really, which is quite good. But yeah, then we start doing the task. So, first things first, let's talk about Luke and Lewis, because they're the hiders.
Yep.
And in that task, they are given a pinpoint. So no part of the video was meant to be them searching for the location.
No.
That was meant to be the easy bit.
No. I think, if I remember rightly, we pulled up. Obviously, these two guys didn't see anything related to that. It was all on our phones because we had spreadsheets and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it just gives you an image or a pinpoint. Maybe it was just a pinpoint. No, it was a photo. That was it. It was a photo to start with of the location. A
zoomed in Google Street View.
A zoomed in Google Street View of a specific thing in the gardens. And then you could jump to Google Maps and it'd be a pinpoint in the gardens of where that was. I think I went through the gardens for a good 20 minutes before I realised I could jump back into Street View and work out exactly where, because I had a good idea of where that was. And Luke, I don't know how Luke worked it out, to be fair to him. I'd take my hat off to him because
he never spotted it, did he? He never spotted that you could do that.
Luke never realised you could go back into Google Street View and work it out, because it is literally just a zoomed in picture of like a like a water grate or something, like an overflow water
like
grate
a well or something.
A well or something, yeah. And I had a rough idea where that was, but Luke, not being too versed with where things are in towers, it was a struggle for me, and I don't think he had any idea where it was, so he just followed a pinpoint on the maps, and it was very difficult to find where that was with the pinpoint. It was just about doable with the Google Street View when you worked out, okay, I know where that is. But
he never saw the pinpoint.
No,
he just saw the photo.
Oh, did he not even see the pinpoint? I thought he saw it.
No. He literally
photo.
got it. Now, bear in mind
that's
that guy.
even more impressive.
Yeah, no, it's genuinely impressive. We kind of gloss over a little bit because to try and explain this, we do say like they're both go in hard mode because they don't use the pinpoint. They use to start with just a screenshot.
Yeah.
Particularly because he just guessed it was in the gardens or got lucky. It did take him longer because Nick and Luke were a lot closer than me and Lewis were. It did take him a little bit longer to find, but the fact he found it not only, and also it's testament to how slow Lewis walked once again, right? That Luke had no clue. Luke's not a geek like the three of us. Like he likes theme parks, but not like intricate level, particularly Alton Towers. The fact that he found it at all is beyond a miracle without using the pinpoint. But that wasn't the way the challenge was assigned. The task was assigned to you guys just go there. The idea was you would go there and in the edit, you would just kind of zoom there really quickly, and then me and Nikki are searching. But that didn't happen. That became its whole thing of you trying to find it because for no other reason than you guys just didn't zoom out on the.
Yeah, we couldn't. I had a good idea of where it was, but it still took me a while to find it, and it was only when I saw Luke and I was like, oh, it's over there. I got it. I remember now. Yeah.
So the bandstand. I'll hand this over to Team Purple because Luke's not here now. He did defend himself previously, but he's not here to do that now.
The funny thing is, if he'd have stuck to his false answer, I would have found him. I was heading up that way, and then when he said, "Oh no, I did see it," I thought, well, hang on. From where he entered, he might have been too high up to have actually seen the bandstand. So I thought, I think it's the other way. So I thought, in my head, I was like, for him to have noticed it, he probably would have walked directly past it. And I didn't think he would have done to have gone up the way that he did. Also, not thinking, Luke doesn't know the gardens. I can't even think whether he's actually, ever been in them before this game. And I didn't think about that. I thought, us three would have known to have just gone that way. So if he'd have stuck to his original answer, I was completely the opposite direction, and to him, bless him, it probably sounded like I was on the right track because I was asking all the same questions Stuart did, and it sounded like I was on the right track, but apparently not.
Lewis helped Luke, which when I was editing annoyed me first. I was like, oh yeah, what are you helping him for? Because you know that he's got it wrong, you should be keeping stum. Yeah. But like Nikki just said, you didn't know this, but you helping, Nikki literally stops at that moment. She turns around and goes back down the hill. So you did got a good bit of sabotage by helping because it was a good little.
Well, I just felt bad for him because I heard him say, "Oh, she just asked me what about where I've been past the bandstands," and I've just said no. And I'm thought in the back of my head, you definitely have walked past the bandstand, and you definitely have been to it. And then he turned to me slyly after like a good 5 seconds and just went, "What is a bandstand?" And I had to go over. I had to go over to him, and I was like, I had pointed in the distance. It's like, it's that over there is where the bandstand is, and he was like, oh. And then I started furiously texting Nikki back on the phone, like, I did see it.
He was always just like, sorry, yes. I was like, oh god.
It worked out in our favour. To be fair. So
yeah, he definitely did. And I felt really bad for him because when we were choosing between who was gonna do which one, we thought, oh, Luke will be better at that one because he'll have a little bit more support of a visualisation of where to go, and I know Towers a little bit more, and I so let him down. I did feel bad for him, but
I don't think we were only given the information we were given. I ended up all the way up at Mutiny Bay because my first question was quite more spread out.
Oh yeah, I didn't realise you'd gone all the way up there. It's only when I watched it back I was like, oh my god, you're going all the way to Catania Canyon at one point. I was like, have you gone all the way up there?
Because I had the benefit of seeing where they went, so I had the benefit of seeing them both go into the garden. So the fact that you ended up all the way around there and still got to them before me was impressive, to be fair.
So we win that challenge. We get the first 50 tickets on the board, which is huge, quite incredible. And then we do start rolling because by this point I think it's been like 15 minutes of the video, so we're quite into the video before we do the first rolls. But then we both literally decide to take what we get first. So we get Wicker Man. We head down to that. You guys get Smiler. Both with fat with a PH queues, like big lines. Yours is like
Smiler was 2 hours, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 hours for Smiler, wasn't it?
And we thought we were like, we've got 90 minutes. Ours is going to be much quicker than theirs. And then the fire alarm goes off.
Yeah.
So with the fire alarm, it is edited down quite a bit. Then, because it looks like we just come out the queue line, we hover for 5 seconds and we get back in the queue line.
Yeah.
But that didn't really happen. So as soon as it went off, me and Lewis both knew they have to now. They don't have any choice. It's not going to like that. No, guys, everyone stay where you are. We're just going to turn the fire alarm off and you can all stay. We knew for a fact we'd be going. We couldn't go anywhere because obviously we're trapped in the queue line.
And it was quite a bit before, after the fire alarm gone off, to when the announcement come up that we had to leave the queue. So it was a good 5 minutes or so, I'd say, with the fire alarm going off in the background and everyone hovering around like, well, what do we do? And I think most people who know what happens when that goes off is any second now, a Scottish man's going to tell us to leave the queue line.
Yeah. So were you aware? We didn't ever communicate with you what was going on, obviously for obvious reasons why. But you weren't aware, so you never saw us leave the queue line or what was going on, or thought we'd got... Because obviously you might have seen us leave it because the GPS is on, but not claim it, because that would have been weird to do. We didn't see that happen.
No, so I think, to be honest with you, I think for the whole first day of filming, me and Luke didn't really utilise the tracking of you two as much as we probably did the first season. We forgot for a long time that it was even on, to be honest. We were so fixated, because it's a bit of a more complex game. We were so fixated on like the rules and what we were going to do in our strategy. We weren't actually tracking you as much. So I think the whole of that season, we watched that episode back and we're kind of like, we had no idea what a rubbish day you had, like that morning. We had no idea. We obviously knew, like when we got off Smiler, I think we're like, oh, they've been there for a while, but we were just kind of like, maybe that queue just ended up being longer than it was advertised. We didn't really think much of it. Because I think our queue was advertised at 2 hours and I think it was an hour and a half we waited. So we just kind of thought, oh, we were through quicker. And then we just carried on with our day, I think.
I think our queue would have been about 2 hours. It says 90 minutes, but I think it would have been about 2 hours anyway. But yeah, so it gets cut down a little bit. And so we go to the toilet. Lewis queues up for a cup of tea, but the queue doesn't move. So he just gives up on that. Obviously, this isn't entertaining stuff, but it all just adds to... Like, all this gets cut because it's just boring. Like, we're just waiting until the moment when they start to look like they're reopening it. Like I said in the video, you can always tell when they're about to reopen a ride because all important people start coming down and with radios looking very busy type thing. But then and then all things considered, because we got into the queue really fast after that, we were one of the first in. We say in the video, like, we think it worked in our favour, and I think it just about would have saved us. Not much though, 5-10 minutes tops, maybe a bit more. I don't know.
Not a lot really.
But it did mean you got the Smiler first. You came off the Smiler.
We were winning for that little bit of time.
Well, no, there was 3-3 then. We got 3 stars each, didn't we?
Yeah, but like for that.
Sorry. Yeah, you had 3-0 up.
For that split few minutes, we felt like we were in the lead there.
Okay, you'll notice very swiftly that Nikki has now got headphones on to make it a lot easier for Lewis to then edit, which for the first 18 minutes of the recording, she was not wearing.
Apologies.
And as this is literally the third sort of take.
One day,
this episode's cursed.
We'll get it right from start to finish.
This will be it. This is the time now. We're going to do it right. I'm sorry.
So you get the Smiler, you come out and you pull a task, which is no screaming, please. Which I think you nailed, to be fair.
We did, but I do need to say here, while Luke's absent, because he pulled it up on the previous recording of this, he pointed out that Stuart, he accused Stuart of editing it in a way that made it look like it was my idea. I don't remember whether it was my idea or Luke's idea, but I think he might be right. I think he might have kind of like pointed over to it to like suggest to me that that was his idea, and then I kind of went, oh, and then it looked like it was my idea. So I just wanted to put in, Luke, probably that was his idea. So we'll give him that. He was upset about it, so we'll let him have that one.
I have never seen, in fact, you know what? We can prove this right now. I've never seen a clip, because he was quite adamant in the previous recording, and he will thank you that you brought this up to him.
I don't remember. I don't know, is my answer.
But I've never seen. So you were filming, Nikki, weren't you?
Yeah.
To be honest, some of the clips were Nikki and Luke. Also, you weren't using your mics for that clip.
That was it, because we just got off the smiler. I think there might be a clip in there. Luke just runs. He's so excited.
Yeah, he's leaving
so
the shop.
I'm like still trying to get the mics on, still trying to get the camera on the tripod and everything, get everything set up. And I think in all of that, we forgot to put the mics on for that bit, so I do apologise.
We're going to VAR.
We are going to VAR. We quite like that.
Because I don't know whether he like looks over at it and then I kind of interrupt and we kind of have the same idea at the same time, and that's kind of where that comes from. If it's his idea, I'd like him to have credit for it. But
okay, so sorry, Nikki, I just didn't hear that. His first suggestion is Postman Pat.
yeah, it was.
And then you say, has it got to be a roller coaster? Because you know it. It's right.
Oh no, he does.
He
does say it.
Yeah.
So you say, yeah, no, fair play. In fact, Lewis, I'll send you the clip and you can actually put it in.
Okay.
Here's the clip.
It's the bit where they're going around to the drop. Last.
How long is it going to be?
15 seconds. Go.
Let's try it. Fair play, Luke. That's for
So
you,
yeah,
mate.
he does say it. Because you say Oblivion, and he says, no, they love the drop, so they're going to scream. And he says, what about the bit round the top? So it wasn't on purpose. The reason for that is because whenever there's a clip and the audio is really bad, it's because the audio is never going to be perfect.
No.
And audio is not where my strength is in like mixing it. It's just not a strength of mine. I'm better at editing, and I'd love to be able to just pass it to someone to do the audio mix once everything's in there. But if we're not wearing mics, it's really difficult to edit round because every area has really loud music. You've got screaming, you've got just the noise of the coasters going round.
Yeah.
So it gets really like when we do our kind of tasks where we sit on a bench in the garden, in the gardens, but also on the lawns. That's great because the audio is really crisp and there's no excess noise. But so I did sort of skim it because I just also wanted the main points basically.
We were also really worried about where I was. Like after we did it, we were all very excited. It was first early on in the game. We were all really excited, and I was so relieved when we watched the first episode because I had this horrible feeling. Because if you watch it, we are just pointing and counting together, and I think you hear a noise at the smiler, but it was a noise from the smiler.
Some screaming.
Yeah, and
that's why I put the tag on so people know like. Oh, screaming from the other stuff is fine.
And I was terrified. Like, what if we'd counted too fast, or like was something, or there was a scream, but we were just counting at the same time and missed it. So I'm glad that was fine. Because I was a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, you have plenty. Like, it's always better to use actual. When we can, we do just use stopwatches on our phones. You can actually hear sometimes in future episodes if one of us gets locked out or something. You can always see you can hear the timer going or the end of timer going type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you nailed that. I think that's quite a difficult task. It could have been potentially.
I don't think I'd even thought of that. It's a genius idea, but I don't think I'd have thought of that. I think I'd probably tried to make my way to the Runaway Mine Train or something and just hope that no one's screamed on it or something. But
Runaway Mine Train, as it's coming back into the station, it takes a long time. Yeah. You could get 15 seconds out of that maybe. So that's in my head when.
Can you film it from anywhere though to see that come back in?
queue line. You'd have to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
and also on that day the queues would have been massive and you can't push past people in the queue. So
I think we were just lucky that we pulled it there. I think we were just lucky that we pulled it when we were right there. Otherwise, I don't think we would have thought of it. It was just because it was there and Luke came up with the idea.
So when we design the game, we try and make it so we are not being a nuisance to anybody else. When we do stuff kind of out of the way, so we're not being a nuisance, not upsetting the park or anything like that. That's not our intention at all. And we don't do pranks, we don't involve like other members of the public or running up to them or anything like that. Mostly because we are social recluses, but also because we don't want to upset anybody. There is a moment in a future episode, look out for that, where I question the decision of one of the teams. It's not our team. Yeah, okay. Do you genuinely not? Are you joking?
No, I can't think.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it in that podcast. When that
Okay,
podcast comes
we'll
out.
come back to that. Enjoy.
But yeah, we always try and design stuff like that so we're not in the way and we're not involving others or involving staff.
And I think we can go back to the last season as an example of like sometimes there might be something where you have to like ask a member of staff. So for example, that one where I had to get all those phrases in, we'll never try and like the footage might be a bit rubbish because we don't want to film them. You might hear their voice, but we don't want to film. So that footage might always be a little bit rubbish because we're pointing down or at us and So yeah, we do try not to get faces and stuff.
Another example is when we did the card. Remember the card? Finding the card in the last challenge. We're running to the entrance and I'm moaning that the staff aren't. The staff are perfectly quick enough. It's just that I was in a very hot potato race that I needed to get done. So I blurred the staff out because it's not fair. It's not a fair review of their services, really, is it? So that's just so everyone's aware of like how we design the games and stuff and how we design them to be played. The next thing after you saw that, you go over to you roll to get onto Rita.
Oh yeah. Oh, Rita was a horrible queue. I was adamant. I think it's in the video, and I think I said it to Luke. We're gonna get on it. Whatever it is. And then we got there. It was on one train, and we looked at the queue, and the fast pass queue was massive, and we just thought, we're not going to get any content for one. We're not going to get any gameplay. We're not going to get much further on. So it just felt like a good idea just to let it go.
Yeah, but then if that is, I'm not saying it was, but if that is the best strategy, that's what I would have made Lewis do, as much as he would have hated it. I'd have said, no, this is the best strategy, so we have to do this. So Rita was too busy. What did you roll onto then? Oh, of course. You roll onto Wicker Man.
Oh, yeah.
The one ride that we do own.
And we had no idea what a rubbish time you'd had getting there either. We didn't know. We were still taking it, but...
The only benefit was that we knew it'd be a big boy queue. Oh, and you couldn't go in it yet because, in fact,
you were still in it.
We're still in the queue.
Yeah.
Still in the queue. I didn't realise it was that soon, actually, because you did your task really quickly, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, also the rules clarification. Because you did your little dance, didn't you? When you didn't understand the rules. Even though we spend so long going through every single rule.
But that is something to raise, and I think when you guys at home are watching it, you get a lot of visuals, and Stuart explains it really well. I think we mentioned this in the first podcast. We had it explained in a way that doesn't go in my brain. If you sit and talk to me and tell me, it's not going in. So it did take me a little while, and I think there was rules in relation to the stations, and I was getting confused between, because we'd said if those stations are closed because the Sky Ride was closed, and that's where that confusion had come from. I'd mixed the two together.
Yeah.
So just to quickly recap, I can't remember what we said in the pre-season, but basically the stations, because they are very easily stealable, like they very rarely would have a queue. Even Skyride would have a little queue, but never a massive queue if it was open. Newsflash, it's not a spoiler, but the Skyride doesn't open for the entire game because it was advertised as going to open, and they were like, yeah, the Skyride is coming 2025, we'll get you on the Skyride. Yeah, and then they said it's coming in April. Yeah, it's coming in April. And everyone's like, what date in April? The last date in April. And then they missed that date as well. They just kept on pushing it back. But the problem was we designed the game, and also we wanted 4 stations because Monopoly has 4 stations. But because they're so easy to steal, we wanted it to be. We didn't want to just take them out we wanted them to keep them in the game, so the only compromise we had to do was like, they just need to go to the entrance to do it. Which is a bit naff. And also, we wanted some amazing shots from on the Sky Ride. So it's a shame that we didn't ever get that. And we had some great tasks lined up for the Sky Ride and involving that, because we didn't have that last time. So that was going to be really interesting. But hey, who knows? For season 7 or whatever, when we go back, we can. Well, Sky Ride will be shut by then anyway.
I'm quite glad, because I don't really like the Sky Ride. It scares me, so I'm quite glad that I didn't have to go on it. So.
Think of the content, Nikki.
I'd have been there like no content, so like, Luke, don't move. Don't move the carriage.
Luke would have been running everywhere in the cabin as well, making it wobble.
Yeah, he's like a bottle of pop.
Yeah. So you then get the balloon pet.
We did.
Which to me is my favourite bit of the episode, and I do prefer, like, some of the best silly stuff we do on both teams is when we just set the camera up. It's a ball ache to edit. Like, literally, like, I have to sit there and watch 20-25 minutes sometimes of one clip of just us trying to find a way through a task. But I do feel like we forget the camera's running, so we just are just literally how we are, which we would be on any day when we're trying to make a balloon pet. I still argue that, you know, Luke said it best, like, should we send it for verification? And you, without hesitation, Nikki, say, no. And then Luke says, because you know what they're going to say. Yeah. And then Luke starts laughing.
Because we know that this was the problem that I think me and Jake had in season 1. We were like, we don't know how far we can push this. Are we doing like Taskmaster style where we can kind of like really push it or not? And then when we were watching, I think in season 1, you guys pushed out kind of bent those a little bit more than we did. So I was like, no, we're having it.
Yeah, we say there's bending the rules, and
then
there's making a balloon animal that looks nothing like an actual animal.
Yeah, but Lewis, the thing is, none of you can dispute that now, because we have footage of, I think Stuart turns to you and goes, what do you think? And you went, fair play, or you went like, okay. So you agreed that it was fine at the time.
I'm not going to lie, I was looking to you, Lewis, to go, well, it's obviously not a pet. And then you turned around and went, yeah, it's all right. And I was like, you can see it, and I don't know if I include the full clip. I'm like,
I think when I saw
that was your opportunity.
When I saw the video or the photo of it, I think I thought it had legs. I think they thought they twisted the balloon in a way that made it look like a dog. I just saw the front of it, and then when I've seen it in the video back, I'm like, that looks like a legless rat. Like, what is that?
It's because Luke is so heavy-handed that every time he touched it, it was like throwing it across, and I was like, it's going to unravel. Whatever Luke does to that, it's going to unravel, and it's going to be nothing at all. We're going to have to start from scratch. So that's why I was like, just leave it. Stop touching it. Let's just leave it at that.
Also, can we talk about you using the wrong attachment? Which, again, I was in hysterics. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you using it? So basically what happens is, you see there's an Asda bag, because again, nothing but saving every bit of those donations dollars, right? No branded purple and yellow bags.
One
it's just
day.
an Asda bag. And the day before, literally, I sit here and I go, right, there's your cards for that, there's your for that. And I literally make 2 of everything, and we get it all, and in the morning we dish it out. In the bag is literally the pump, and you'll see there's I don't know if you see that, but there's a ball in there as well for another task, right? So the same pump can help you with the balloon animal, which, by the way, it was also hilarious when he tried to, because he didn't believe me when I said you can't blow them up with your mouth, or at least I can't. And when he tries, he can't do it. proper had me in stitches. But there's also and the football attachment. So everyone knows the football attachment is the pump, the little bendy bit, and then you have a little needle, and you put the needle in the ball, and you can pump the ball up.
Everybody doesn't know that.
Everyone knows.
I think I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like a spike that goes into a ball, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Comment down below. Everyone knows.
I've never
just
pumped a ball.
And then there's another attachment, which is literally just like a little cone, which would fit perfectly on any balloon that you've
anything other than a ball, probably.
Quite literally. And because they were using that the bendy attachment, they weren't using the needle. If they were using the needle as well, I'd have lost it. but they were using the bending attachment, and that had a bit of metal on it. So every time they pulled it away, it would pop. And honestly,
But
comedy gold. I absolutely loved it.
in our defence, so Stuart obviously packs these bags. We just get given them. We don't even really know what's in them until we get a task, and when I think.
But you could examine it.
Yeah, but we just didn't. So we didn't see the attachment. So what we pulled out, I'm pretty sure, unless Luke adds something to it that I didn't clock on, we just pulled it out as it was. So
No, it wasn't. He
Does he add
had to
something
put
to
that
it?
attachment onto.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you build it.
I
'Cause
didn't know that.
It's purposely in pieces because I didn't know what challenge you get, so you might want to put the whatever on it. But yeah.
Yeah, I did. I
literally built
genuinely
it.
didn't even. That thought never once occurred to me until you said, and then I was like, oh. But it worked
But
eventually.
it is comedy gold. It is literally. I mean, other than the starting task, which is not. It's not hugely funny, the starting task. It's very comedic, making the balloon pet. Like I said, some of the best stuff we do is just putting the camera out and just see what we come up with when we're trying to work out a task. So then we go to Oblivion. We roll into Oblivion. And we do this thing in the whole game, and it's happened several times, where we talk about, we need to do this because we're stopping the set.
Yeah.
And it's only something that we've noticed in post that actually it makes no difference. But it feels wrong. Because if you're walking around the board and Monopoly, like, you might take something to stop someone else getting it. Because but in our game, it's actually, you have to pay rent, but then you can just ride it and get it anyway.
Yeah.
So we keep, it happens, and to the point where we make decisions based on it. Like, but we could stop them. We're not stopping them getting a set at all. We're just making it so they have to pay us rent if they then want to do it. We're making it slightly inconvenient.
Maybe we could have had it where, like, when you got the set, it locked it, and you couldn't unlock the set until the other team had done a challenge or something. Like, they had an unlock challenge, and then that would unlock the set, and they could have rewrote it. So maybe just that bit of. But yeah, you're right. I think in my head it was like, well, you lock the set, it's impossible to get it after that. I'm like, because in Monopoly, in normal Monopoly, someone's got the set. There's nothing you can do unless you trade.
It's hard to get it off them. It's hard to get it off them.
But in this, it makes no odds really, other than being a mild inconvenience to them getting the set.
Yeah. Tripping up with some rent. And then obviously at the end, we once again have some fantastic luck with we go on 2 rides in this episode, and we get kicked out of both queue lines due to a issue. So yeah, you end the episode with us, with the announcement saying, please evacuate the queue line. And then we cut to our balloon pet friend.
What was his name?
I'm not going to lie.
Mike.
No, it's just Mike. No, Mikey. Mike.
Just Mike.
Just Mike.
He's referred to as Mikey the Mouse at some point.
Okay.
Just FYI.
I think that's where it came from. I don't know whether it made the actual episode, but I think that's where it came from. I think Luke said Mickey Mouse, like, we can't use that. That's already a thing. And I think that's where it stemmed from.
Is it? Where's that? I've not heard of that.
He's literally here.
Mickey is literally a thing you could use because in order for trademark or copyright to happen, it would have to look like a mouse, and yours doesn't. So you'd be absolutely fine.
We wanted to be
trade
original.
off that.
We wanted to be original with the Mike, specifically Mike.
It was a very funny clip though. When I found that clip, I was like, you know what? We're going to end with us having a really horrible day, and then the fact you just turned up to Wicker Man, the only ride that we have managed to get today, and you're now going to join the queue. But that was the shot you gave me.
You would have loved
just
that
him
shot.
coming into shot.
You'd have loved that shot even more if you'd watched Luke do it. So from where I was standing watching him do that, it was even funnier. He proper went into like film director mode, like, give me your camera. And then he was like all bent down and he was enjoying himself.
He is a bit of a film nut, and like that's what he wants to get in industry-wise, Luke. So you do see some odd shots, I'd say, in this one, which I would never shoot, and Nikki and Lewis would definitely never shoot.
Are you going to include the Nemesis one? Because again, you should see how he filmed that.
Yeah, it's in there, but you can obviously tell like this is not the style that they normally do this, and it's because Luke's doing it, so that's why. Hope you're enjoying Luke as well, by the way. Luke edited. Did we say this? Luke edited. He edited Nikki and Jake's footage for the second day. He did just edited all the footage for me. Saved a lot of time on season 1 out of his own, spare time type thing. And he said, if you ever do one, if you ever need someone, please can do it. And obviously we need someone for this series, so
he was a good addition.
Do it.
He was a very fun teammate as well. We had a lot of fun.
He is a box of wasps. Like he's literally like he's just everywhere all the time. But but yeah, he means well.
And I also think he helps because sometimes I could be a little bit more stand back. He kind of brings it out. He's very good at bringing the fun out of people that he's with as well. So I think that's good.
I was saying this today. Like we do sort of. The more I edit it, we are sort of fitting like a role. Like Nikki's positive attitude. I'm still having a great day. Nothing. When we talk about this now on the vlogging channel, she always has a great day regardless. Even at Disneyland Paris, with
always a silver lining.
And yeah, always positive. Although I see Nikki on camera sometimes, and I've never caught it on camera. I catch her sometimes having a bad day, or just someone's rubbed her up the wrong way, and that was at Disneyland Paris.
And Indiana Beach.
And what?
And
Indiana Beach was the only other one I can remember where you had a really bad day.
Oh yeah. Oh, to be fair, we all were there.
That was a bad
right. Go check out that vlog, Indiana Beach. It was one of the worst days we've ever. But it was an entertaining one because all the rides kept crashing.
Oh, I got
literally crashing. You've got me, who's Mr. Grump, which is fine, whatever. Like, I still have a great time, and I take the game seriously, I suppose. Lewis, who's far too chill for being on my team, where I'm taking it far too seriously.
I don't know what's going on half the time.
And then you've got Luke, who is literally just a million miles a second.
And Luke's also out
very
for
energetic.
blood. Out for blood. He wants to win.
Yeah.
And I think
only against me though, not against Lewis.
Yeah, definitely more against you. And I think that's where I kind of I get competitive, and then it gets to a certain point where I'm like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, and Luke's just like, let's get them. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, we are all very different people, but it works.
Okay, so that's the end of episode 1 of our Park Close podcast for when we review the show. Thank you very much. As we record this for a second and a half time, we have just released the trailer to the members, so only a few people have seen it. We've only got a few members, but that's fine. All the videos come out 1 week earlier, so if you want to become a member, you'll get access to, so you can watch next week's podcast probably now or in like a couple of hours when it goes live. And if you can't do that, then just subscribing, liking, interacting with the video, whether it just be a comment or a like, as much as a subscribe, is huge. And I do mention this in episode 1, I think. I actually put the likes on the screen and show people it's because we got such a high like percentage and numbers that I think YouTube pushed it quite heavily, which is massive. And yeah, I think that's it. So we're literally gonna sit and watch episode 2 now, which Luke won't be happy about. But hey, he's on holiday.
He's having a better time than us.
There is no such thing as a better time than recording the Park Close podcast.
Where is he? Is he like Corfield or something?
He could have dialed in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's only Corfu.
By the pool. Fair.
So maybe he's not very committed. Maybe we need to find someone else for Series 3. You know what I'm saying?
Application forms below.
That's it. We're gonna watch that through now. I'm gonna record the next episode, and we shall see you in the next Park Close podcast, and the next normal episode will be number 2, and it'll be this Thursday. Even though I'm not gonna say a date because that will change, but it's always the next Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, we shall see you in the next episode.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.